Welcome to the Repugen Podcast, where we transform patient care.
Welcome back to another episode of the Repugen Podcast. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm John.
Today we're covering the 24-hour window, why most practices miss their best shot at a patient review.
Yeah, and this is a big one.
It really is.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there right now with a sparkling 4.9 star rating, you might actually be losing new patients to like the clinic down the street with a 4.5.
It sounds totally backwards at first.
Right. It sounds completely counterintuitive. But today we're doing a deep dive into a 2026 Repugen study to figure out exactly why that happens. And really, we're uncovering the secret to patient acquisition, which is capturing feedback immediately.
Exactly. Because to understand how you might be losing those patients, you really have to look at how human memory actually works. I mean, 80% of patients have seen a provider in the last quarter alone.
Oh, 80%.
Yeah, just in the last quarter. So that is this massive constant flow of recent experiences happening every single day.
But that flow is, it's highly perishable, right?
Extremely.
It relies so heavily on the experience being top of mind. I like to think of it kind of like reviewing a movie.
Okay, yeah, how so?
Well, if you ask me what I thought of a film while I'm literally walking out of the theater lobby, you're going to get this vivid, passionate, highly detailed emotional recall. But if you ask me a week later...
Oh, the details are totally gone.
Exactly. I'll probably just shrug and say, it was fine.
Right. And that same rapid fade applies directly to a clinical setting. We are dealing with what the study calls experience closure moments.
Like checking out at the front desk.
Yeah, like the discharge process or walking into the consultation room. Getting feedback right in that specific moment captures the operational details.
The operational stuff, right?
Yeah, so you actually hear about how friendly the front desk staff was, or, if the wait time felt reasonable, or even how clear the doctor's instructions were.
Because that emotional recall evaporates so insanely fast. Which means if you're relying on, say, a busy receptionist to remember to send an email 3 days later, that isn't just inefficient.
No, not at all.
It's actively hurting your reputation.
Definitely. The study actually pinpoints a very tight window. 24 to 72 hours post-visit is the optimal window.
Wow, that is a tight turnaround.
It is. But if you miss it, your response rates just plummet. And honestly, even worse, the recency of your reviews takes a massive hit.
Which matters a lot, Craig.
Huge. About 66% of patients evaluate providers based on how recent their reviews are. They look at the timestamp before they even look at the stars.
Wait, but I have a question about this.
Sure.
If I get an automated text the absolute second my foot hits the parking lot, isn't that going to feel a bit, creepy or robotic to me as a patient? Like I'm just a metric on a dashboard.
It's a fair worry, yeah.
Yeah.
But you really have to look at what automation actually provides, which is consistency.
Okay, consistency over personalization.
Right. Because when you rely on manual asks, you inevitably get gaps. Somebody gets busy, someone forgets. But to a prospective patient looking online, a 2-month gap in fresh reviews isn't perceived as, oh, the staff must have been busy.
Right, they don't know the back-end operations.
Exactly. It's perceived as a sudden, alarming drop in the current quality of care. Consistency basically proves you're still doing good work today.
So missing that 24-hour automated window really throttles the sheer volume of reviews you bring in.
It totally throttles it.
Which brings us back to that 4.9 star clinic losing out to the 4.5 star clinic.
Yes, the volume issue.
Because, and this blew my mind, more than half of patients, about 56.8%, they actually prefer a 4.5 star provider with 1,050 reviews over a near-perfect 4.9 star provider with only 25 reviews.
Yeah, and it comes down to a psychological principle called Bayesian trust.
Bayesian trust.
Right. It's where consumers intuitively trust a large volume of data as being authentic and stable. A 4.9 with only a handful of reviews triggers instant skepticism.
Like it's just the doctor's friends and family.
Exactly. Or a manipulated sample,
It's like walking past an empty restaurant with a best food in town sign in the window versus a packed restaurant with no sign at all.
The crowd is the proof.
Yeah, the volume proves the good experience is repeatable.
Which means automating those review requests in that first 24-hour window isn't just like an administrative chore to check off.
Right.
It is the core strategy for building the volume and the recency necessary to mitigate risk and alleviate anxiety for those prospective patients researching you right now. You're bottling up that fresh walking out of the theater energy.
To build a continuously updating reputation, I love that.
It's essential.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. If a patient walked out of your practice today, what specific operational detail would they remember 24 hours from now? And do you have the system in place to capture it before it fades?
Thanks for listening to the Refugium Podcast, your path to better healthcare.